Hi everybody, in this video we're going to talk about the GoolRC CSJ S171 quadcopter. It's for kids and for people who feel like kids. Stay tuned. Okay guys, so here we are with the GoolRC CSJ S171 drone with 1080p HD camera. Now first off, I do want to emphasize that this is in fact a toy drone. Do not expect high quality performance. I certainly am not expecting it, but we'll see what happens. In any event, this is a small size drone. Again, it is a toy grade, but it does come with a lot of stuff and even a carrying case, as we can see. So let's take a look inside at what's included, and then after I go through what its specs are, we'll take it out for a flight test. So first off, right here, we have the stem here that goes into the controller. This is for your phone. There's no spring action. Everything is, you unscrew, and that makes that go up and down, and then you have to go on the back here, unscrew that, and that extends this. So that's how that works. So you just put your phone and you extend it a big ways and then put your phone and then bring it down. So that's that right there. And then in here, this is your charging adapter. Now this you plug into, you can plug it into a computer or plug it into an adapter. But this right here goes into the batteries, which are proprietary, and you get 3 total with this particular item. 1 was in the drone, and then you get 2 spares. And they're, you know, pretty small size. But how you charge them is there's a little hole on the side here, and then you just insert that into the hole. Be sure to press it all the way in so that it's just about like that. And then when you plug it in, it will charge your batteries. The charging time, let me check down here, about 40 minutes per battery. 40 minutes of charging time per battery. And you get about 10 minutes of flight time with this little guy. And we'll leave this right here. It's in Chinese. If you flip it over, that's in English. A little quick start guide, a little schematic right here of what everything is. And then here we have an app user guide. This is how you can find the app using that QR code. And then you have the user manual. One side is in English, and then the other side is in Chinese. We'll get to that in a little bit, or maybe I'll skip it for the video. And then in here, here's a pack, and it has spare props and prop guards. It also has a little teeny screwdriver, and that would be so that you can unscrew the props and swap them out if you need to. Let's see. Let's do the controller next. Now with the controller, it's very light. There's no batteries in here right yet. This does take 3 AAA size batteries in the rear there. I'll have to get those. I don't have any handy, so I'll have to get those before we do the flight test. But this is your typical, like, toy grade controller. You know, you could see the manipulators are pretty stiff, and actually I'm a pincher. I like to pinch control, but you really can't do that with this. It's kind of impossible to really manage this controller with by pinching, so I'm gonna have to be forced to do it this way. Okay, and for the controller buttons, we have auto takeoff right here, we have auto land right here. This right here is headless mode, this button right there, and then you have auto return to home. Now, I will say, auto return to home with cheap toy grade drones usually means that it works when it's on headless mode. So I'm assuming that's the way this one works as well, but it may work differently. I don't know. We'll try it out. But usually with these toy grades, it's in headless mode that you return to home. And the return to home is not GPS or anything. It just kind of comes back towards you. And then on the right side here, you have your trims. Forward, reverse, left, and right. And then the power button right here. Up top here, we have a 360-degree spin. And then over here, again, I'm going to have to look at the schematic here. That is the speed control. Now, what kind of confuses me here is neither the product page nor the instruction manual, the user manual that I did look at earlier, has any information on the speed control. So I'm assuming it's got like high and low, but it may have low, medium, and high. I don't know. We'll test that out as well. But again, there was nothing in the instruction manual on what the actual speeds were. Also, on the product page, it did mention gestures, but however, similarly with the user manual, there was nothing in the user manual regarding gestures, so I don't know if it's a different model that does that or what, and they just put that on the product page or left it on the product page, but I didn't see any mention of it in the user manual. But I'll try, doing like a wave or something with the drone in the air, and we'll see what happens. But that's it for the controller. That aside, and now we have the drone itself, Quadcopter. Very small, okay. It's in my hand like that, pretty tiny. And then you fold out the arms. You're going to want to fold out the front first because it has legs there, and then you fold out the back. Obviously the power is up on top there, and then we have the 1080p camera. Since there's no manipulators on the controller, this is going to be manual. You just put it where you want it, and then when you take off, it's stuck there. And then we'll look down below. There's the altitude hold ability right there. I don't know if it's a camera or what it uses, but that creates the hold. That's your receiver, and that's it for the drone. It is quite small, and the battery comes in the back here. Let me see if I can figure out how it comes out. Oh, right here. There we go. And that's the battery right there. We'll just put that back in. And there is the drone. Nothing much to it. It's very light. It's very light, even with the battery in it. So let me quickly do some stats for you right here. I'll do the bullet list, and then we'll do the test flight next. The bullet list here comes with a transmitter, phone holder, 2 spare batteries, prop guard, screwdriver, charging adapter, and spare props. Okay, each battery is a 3.7 volt, 500 milliamp hour battery. It takes about 40 minutes per battery to charge, as I mentioned, and the flight time, again, is about 10 minutes. It does have altitude hold, like I mentioned, 360-degree flips. And the product page says hand gestures, but as I mentioned, user manual does not mention them. And headless mode and 1-button auto return function. I talked about that. The controller takes 3 AAA size batteries. And again, I just took notes here. There's no mention of the gesture or speed change, so that's about it there. Now, this one, at the time I purchased it, it is October of 2023. It cost me $32 on Amazon. I'll include a link to that product page here, but the price may change. And that's about it for the tabletop here. And with that, we'll just go ahead on to the flight test. Okay guys, first we're going to start off with a a huge fail for this drone and its flight system, and that is the app. I had quite the adventure with the app. It's a generic app, first of all, that it apparently works for many different kinds of toy drones. I don't know if it's by the manufacturer or what, but my intention was to show you some of the app capabilities. However, I installed the app, and then when I turned on the app just to see what it would look like, what the interface would look like, I encountered a lot of ads. There were a lot of ads on it, and I had to get through the ads in order to get to the flight window of the app. The first one was like it covered the screen, and you had to click a CTA to, at the very top, very small one, to get by the advertisement, and then you got to the flight controls. But then after that, when I turned it on again, all of the ads would be like on a timer, like a 5-second timer, and you had to wait for the timer to go down to 0, and then the ad would go away, and then you could get into the flight app. But things got worse, because when I tried to connect the app to the drone, the app itself started flipping out, literally. It started going portrait, landscape, portrait, landscape, portrait, landscape, and there was no way for me to fix that. I tried multiple times. I shut it down, started it again, shut it down, started it again, but I just could not get the app to stop flipping. So, as a result, we will not be doing an app review as a part of this demonstration here. But we will go over the controller, which appears to work. I did do a little test flight before this to make sure the thing actually gets in the air, so we're not wasting our time. But how the operation works is you turn on the drone first and then the controller according to the instructions. So that's what we're going to do here. This is a very basic toy drone. It doesn't do a whole heck of a lot, so there's not a lot to cover here. But I'll figure I'll do the auto takeoff, auto land. We'll try the return to home, which I don't believe will work unless we're in headless mode, but we're going to try the headless mode as well. And then there's a 360 function here too. Over here on the left is a speed control. I have no idea what that does because the instructions don't even mention it. So I'm assuming there's maybe like a, you know, slow, medium, fast, or maybe just slow and fast, but we're going to find out. And with that, I'm going to fire up and we'll get to flying. Okay, now to arm the drone, after you connect, after you turn on the drone and then turn on the controller, you're gonna take the left toggle all the way up, all the way down, and then it'll beep and the light will turn solid and you'll be ready to go. And then you want to do, to calibrate, you want to take the controls down left and down right. That's the calibration. And then we'll try the auto takeoff, and hopefully my dog doesn't go crazy on it. He does go crazy on it. That's okay though. Okay, so it's got the auto takeoff, and there's a little drift. There is some breeze going on, so I'm not going to really bother with trimming it, but you could trim it to get it to be a little steady. That definitely works. This is typical of a horizontal hold drone. I'm going to try the auto land now, and we'll see if it all lands without my dog destroying it. Coda, get away from there. Let's see. Okay, so the auto land works. What are you doing there, boy? Get away from there. Okay, so let's take off again. It shoots up pretty good, and the controls are pretty standard. Yeah, nothing really unusual here. But I'm going to turn it around here. Yep. And let me try the headless mode. Turning around. Okay, I'm going right, I'm going left. Yeah, everything works. Left here, right there. I do notice that when you move it, it loses height, which is fairly standard. Once you start flying it, it just loses its altitude. But we'll bring it back here. Oh, 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 oh. Gotta come back. Almost took it out of action here. Let me get it out of headless. Bring it over here. Okay, let's try to flip. Let's see if it flips. Bring it up a little. Alright, so that works. Kinda gonna... Battery's already going low on this. Let's see. Return to home. And it's going to crash if I do that. Okay. So the return to home doesn't really do what it says it's going to do. It just kind of almost went there, but it did work. It did go back to me. So that's kind of a plus. The battery doesn't last long. I can already see from the flashing. When you see the flashing, that means the battery's low. So this battery's kind of low. And then finally, let's try to speed control. Yeah, a little faster, I guess, but not much. Okay, let's bring it back in here. Well, it's got a little bit of a drift to it, but I think that's the breeze. Could be the trim, but I'm not going to mess with the trim. Okay, let's spin it around. Bring it up. Try the 360 here. 360 works all right. Oh, there it goes. A little late that time. Well, it worked. Alright, there's really not much to this drone. I will say, if you've noticed some breaks, it's because I've had to change all 3 batteries in this thing. It just doesn't want to stay high. I have to constantly move it out. But that's true for these things. That's the way they are. It is a toy drone. It does fly pretty well, though. Overall, I gotta say, it's not too bad. If you just wanted to use the quadcopter and the controller, you know, no problem there. But overall, I'd have to give it a D though, because the app doesn't work. And I just had some slight delay issues. I crashed it once in that bush right there, because I probably just misjudged it. But well, I just bring it in for landing here. There's nothing much else there. Bring it in, do an auto land. Well, not the best, but oh, there goes my auto mower. And there it is. And okay guys, so it's the next day, and I forgot to do the gesture test. I have no confidence that this is going to work, but I'm going to arm this thing and get it in the air, and then we'll see if we can get a gesture out of it. Close here. Breathe. See if I can get it. Get it staying in one spot. I honestly don't know how anybody would do a gesture with this. Yeah. No way. No way. Yeah, so alright. That about does it for this, I guess. Okay, guys, I guess just to wrap this up, the GoolRC CSJ S171 drone with 1080p HD camera, which we were not allowed to test because I could not get the app to work. Unfortunately, I can't recommend this as a purchase. If you were to, for some reason, buy this, I would not use the app. Anything that malfunctions that badly is probably not very trustworthy, so I wouldn't bother with the app. However, the controller and the drone did work fine. Maybe a little delay, but not really perceptible, and I did have that one accident there, which was probably my fault. I probably misjudged the distance there. I don't think it was necessarily a delay involved there, but overall it did fly pretty well. No complaints with the flight quality for a toy drone, and it's really important to remember this is a toy drone. Probably good for practice, maybe kids, but again, the app doesn't work and I wouldn't trust the app anyway, so maybe try something else. That's it for this review of the GoolRC CSJ S171 drone. Talk to you later.